Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Wonderland. Today we have some brand new DLC spells, or at least one that I can get to drop. I am so lost on what is the drop thing. I think it all comes from the Wheel of Fate, but I feel like I've gotten like thousands of others and none of the other ones, so I don't know if it's like partially relegated. Horrible communication on what the hell's happening, at least to me. I'm lost, but I got some cool legendaries to show you guys, and of course we are backing up these legendaries with hopefully a good showcase kind of rendition. Now, unfortunately, don't have primordial type stuff, nor even chaotic in some cases. Sorry. But what I do have is a kind of very mid-maxed spell build in which we should be able to see some of these spells hitting relatively hard within the barrier of a spell cast increases stuff. kind of stuff. Anyway, unfortunately, shield not full, got neutered, feels bad, but what got buffed was having an ungodly amount of faithful thralls with pixies. We can now hold 9 pixies, so our build's fine. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be testing out what's called BOLTLash. It's also ×2. We also have 4 charges of this. I don't know if that's on a base. Regardless, this thing has a 19-second cooldown, but you have a lot of charges, and yeah, it seems like it comes back relatively fast despite the 19 seconds, but we may have a lot of cooldown. But what this does is first of all, it's a repeating cast. Love that. It's just usually a lot of the repeating casts have kind of been meh in terms of damage output, but hopefully this one's not that way. In fact, based on what we can see, it looks pretty promising. Casting an ethereal arrow that sticks to a target. The target stuck with the ethereal arrow will then explode and fire more arrows to nearby enemies. This is essentially the Jacob's kind of spell, it seems like. Jacob's spell. Also, we have 2 of them. We have one in cryo, and we have one in, of course, electric. And again, they're not chaotic. So who knows, but that's what they kind of look like. You're kind of like shooting off these like bouncy kind of like arrow things. You can actually output quite a lot of them, and you can shoot for quite a long time. But let's go fight Parasite. Well, we probably should fight something else, but you know, details, all that. Actually, I have no idea if this is going to be any good. I actually haven't tried the spell yet. I'm hoping. The melee weapon is huge. Okay, but Salt and Spice, is that what it was called? That one is fantastic. It summons like a typhoon. It's great. The new class mod, we will see. I've not tested any of these yet besides Bonk, or sorry, not Bonk. It's the manufacturer's name is Bonk. But yeah, also, we can't hear any game sound. That's not good. There we go. Sorry, you couldn't hear anything. No game sound. Oh, it's way too loud. Okay, so somebody made a mistake and cast pixies, and pixies are chunking through this person. And again, you can have 9 pixies at this point, which is insane. They've tweaked that up. Okay, cool. We're gonna do this. Well, if enemy's closer to us, we'll be able to do a lot more damage. So this should be reflecting. Should be. It doesn't have any, like, heat seeking, so, you know. But it's about to come back. Yeah, so, you know, bossing doesn't feel like it's it. Also, I don't even notice any reflections. I do see the ethereal arrows. Yeah, I seen some ethereal arrows hanging out, but that's kind of it. What the heck? Okay. I mean, he's gonna die. I just was shooting him with pixies. Anyways, okay, it's not good, not very good. Mind you, we're on chaos level 35, and they're not even chaotic. But I think you'll be able to see some meltage because we're basically ×2ing our damage by casting 2 simultaneously. So, yeah. Also, one of them is cryo, and we're massively buffing cryo, so weird. Regardless, maybe it's just not a bossing weapon. Let's go to the murder church and mess around and see if we can, yeah, because I didn't even notice them like explode off of each other. So, yeah. Maybe we should load out and load back in just so we can not have to wait through the crazy cooldown nightmare hell that is waiting for them to respawn. Also, to me, it's weird. It's like, I'm lost. Like, it seems like they've made the rift, the Into the Rift kind of mirror mysteries, that's what's called, like segregated by like difficulty 1 will drop the ring and the magic book. But I've yet to find any of those when I was doing the runs, which is crazy. So I beat the final boss, I got nothing. And yeah, but yet there's the Wheel of Fate. And why wouldn't you just do the Wheel of Fate? And yet you can get everything from the Wheel of Fate, so why not just do the real Wheel of Fate? I feel like everyone's gonna get all of the new gear immediately, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's do this. That's a basic mob. I mean, it eventually got melted. And And normally we heal quite a lot, but also it's because of our pixies, or our pixies heal us quite a lot too. It also feels like it's quite easy to miss. Also, yeah, I can't use pixies. They're just too good. Stop. You're killing things too fast. Pixies die. Die. Here we go. Okay. I mean, we're doing cryo, and I see a bunch of bolts on him. I thought that was supposed to reflect. I'm lost. It says it's supposed to detonate and explode. A target struck with 3 arrows, ethereal arrows, can explode and fire around more arrows. So do I need to shoot him after I'm done doing this? Because we definitely like lit him up with a bunch of arrows. I'm not seeing much ricochet, if any. And that one pixie's gonna eat the world. No, never mind, he died. He died somehow. I mean, sometimes they do a lot of damage. The cryo one is at least doing damage. I feel like if you build for it, it wouldn't be the worst. I just don't see the arrows ricocheting. And we do, this is ×2, so 2 shots we should definitely have plenty. Yeah, I mean, when we do cryo damage, it's wrecking. The left one is actually doing substantial work, but if you're off element, heaven forbid, you're gonna get wrecked. Also, yeah, like it's horrible damage anyways. Bop. This. Yeah, that one's fine. I don't see the gimmick. Like it just seems like the magic missile, except yeah, kind of with more steps. Man, mind you, it looks like I've never gotten one that wasn't like ×4. So maybe it's like a magic missile that will always have a lot of capacity, and you could have potentially ×3 projectiles in it, and then every single hit you would get basically them ricocheting everywhere. Although, it still seems like I get 3 lined up sometimes, and it does nothing, which is a little shitty. And again, if you're not doing the right element, even a basic skeleton basically can barely get melted, so it's something. A little shitty. But with that being said though, if it is on element, you kind of nuke the world. Granted, we also have gear that's mid-max and cryo quite a bit, so yeah. Also, that's something that sucks about Wyvern. If you stop firing or you go down in that one span, you lose your stuff. Yeah, see, that's also like our pixies, but like when we eventually do hit something with our cryo version of this, we actually wreck. So maybe this is one of the rare examples of you actually want to go double spell shot, or sorry, all the way down to spell shot skill tree, get its capstone, and then get like guns with wings, not pixies, just so you can get the gun detonation critical hit proc that resets all your spells. Because if you have 4 in your cast, but you can't cast them quick. It's like a weird issue where like you need to be able to cast your items quick while simultaneously being able to get charges so that it can like make use of it, because otherwise the time it takes you to sit there and go through your entire magazine, you'll just get a bunch of charges back. You almost need something that you can quickly expend in like blasts, like the moo spell, and just go and then ting, reloaded, you know, but it can't be like this. It's nonsense. All right, we're looking for an elite, like a shielded skeleton. But granted, this is a little bit of a stacked deck because, you know, cryo does more damage to skeletons, all this stuff. Perfect. Badass, all that. Okay, never mind. Well, as soon as we hit the cryo, we melt, but it's quite a process till then. Granted, I do believe we are also playing on intense, so that means everything that, like, that's probably why we're so messy when it comes to allegiance of element stuff. Get, kill it, kill something. Thank you. That's probably too many special little guys. Okay, let's see. This is a badass enemy. This is just the electric one. It's the same. Yeah, and this is gonna be doing a little bit better. Yeah, see, like the ice is just generally better because we're built for ice. So I think honestly, if you had a build made for this, maybe as far as I guess that's what we should say. As far as legendary spells, pretty good. This also doesn't have any enchantments on it. This also doesn't have any like specific scaling. I think, oh my god, I keep pulling, why the fuck, it's some sort of cord in my neck. It's always this same side. What the fuck? I got like this thing that every time I jerk my neck even slightly, it's just like, ow. Sorry. But no, a lot of the legendary spells are trash. So the fact that this is even doing something, it's not chaotic, it's not volatile, it's not primordial. we still could have enchantments. Frankly, if you stacked up a ton more on top of this, on action skills start, get 50% cryo damage, then get 50% elemental damage. We're kind of doing that in a small regard. Our pistol, unfortunately, is not doing that just because it's primordial. That's the thing that's holding us right now, head above water. We got this one, elemental enchant stuff. We also got, frankly, we should be doing nothing because we have very little in regard to like any sort of amplification. The only thing that we're amplifying is this. Also, when you're almost dead, we get 30% more damage to all things, which is pretty cool, but yeah. Granted, we also have a lot of like spell damage things happening here, there, everywhere kind of thing. So, I think this spell is actually worth a damn. I think if you actually built for it, it'd probably be more so. I just want to see if it had potential. I don't know if it's worth building a whole build around it, because I just don't know how fun this is going to be forever. Granted, if you get the right enchantments on it, maybe you can get it to be significantly better, like having cooldown. But again, there's a reason why people always see like purples as things, because they can have like cooldown rate, and then you can just scale up the damage if it's decent enough, and then you'll just always have it and always be hitting hard with it. Especially if you're into mid-maxing like enchantments as well as rings and necklaces and stuff like that. Well, this is going to be a weird showcase, but this is kind of the showcase for the build. Let's go fight, what's his name again? The weird parasite, except this time, let's try to give these things as best of a fair shake as we possibly can. This won't make sense, but it will in a minute. Look at my faithful thralls, basically. We're just going to give them a ton of faithful thralls. We're going to go in there with 9, because that's the max on pixies. In fact, maybe the max on pixies is 12. Jesus Christ. Quickly before pixies hit. Pixies. Okay, so some of that was just the spell, and it was taking down his whole shield, okay? It's not bad. But then then our pixies were like, oh, it's crazy. No, man, this is awesome. Frankly, I'm already pretty happy. 2 of the legendaries that they've introduced within the DLC are at least like interesting enough to where you can build for them. So there's something to spice out the build diversity even just a little bit. Even though there's plenty of legendaries in the game, it's just they're all not doing really well. So the fact that they acknowledge, okay, well maybe if we're gonna have these new weapons, maybe let's make them so that they're a little bit on par or better than some of the other spells. Now, are these the case? Is that the case? I don't know. I mean, I think this one has really high probability to be insane, because essentially it seems like you're always going to have times 4 charges. At the very least times like 3 charges, it seems like, because we do have a spell charge there. And I think that will give us 1 extra spell charge, but it's uncanny to have that on both. Yeah, but we have spell charge on here too. So I think it's possible. Well, I don't know, but I would hope it's possible to get a cooldown rate on this or spell charges. Because frankly, you don't really need 4 charges ever. You just need 3, and you have a decent amount of cooldown. Cooldown's the thing you want unless you're gonna build specifically into spell shots, capstone, where you can just get your thing back immediately. That's kind of good, but still not crazy, because it's kind of quite a lot of investment in there. That's not magic damage, it's gun damage to get that deep. And with the nerf to double, it's present still. Yeah, I feel like your best investment for this one is to have as much projectiles as you possibly can. Granted, I never seen, like, you think with this projectile thing, you would start like laying into someone, then you'd see a bunch of arrows like scattering around and killing everyone around you. I never felt like we felt that. Even when fighting skeletons, it was only like whatever we hit died, but like its legendary effect is seemingly useless. It's just the fact that it has a high base damage. It comes with seems like a lot of charges, and it's also a repeating cast, which is also has high damage, because a lot of times it seems like a wyvern, like the spell weaving thing, does not have a lot of built-in high damage. Like this one is volatile, and it's the same as this, and it's saw blades. So it should be pretty good. Now, granted, this is again 1,000 times 4, and we have 2 charges, and it comes back in 11 seconds. So again, scaling seems kind of always horrendous in this weirdness, but this is also 1 and done. So there is that, but still times 4, that's pretty insane. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I want to take over for you today. I do want to actually talk about all the new legendaries. Again, there's a new amazing melee weapon that spawns a tornado. It seems to actually be hitting hard. Doesn't exactly solve the range problem, but I think you can find ways to dedicate all of your build to doing ranged melee-ish things, elemental stuff, and then just have this one new melee weapon that kind of keeps your build's damage above water, his head above water. But there's another spell that I want to try out. I have not got it to drop at all for me. I've been trying this whole morning. That's why I'm kind of like, you guys may be like, Grin, why aren't you showing two? Because there's a bunch of new spells. I haven't gotten them to drop, unfortunately. These are the only ones I've gotten to drop, but apparently there's one that summons like a ward, and I think it's more based on melee. So I think I want to showcase that through a melee lens rather than a magic lens, because I think that's kind of where it's supposed to be. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I won't take up any more of your time. We stream on Ungodly Amount. Show up to the streams, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, every single day except for Mondays and Wednesdays. Jesus Christ. And hopefully I can see you there. Thank you so much for your time, and bye, ladies and gentlemen.